Here we back with another interesting video. Now, today, man, we're going to talk about something very interesting. You know, I'm coming with the Untold story series. And today we're going to talk about Germany's role in the 1902 Haitian Civil War. Yes, you already know. We've had military engagements against the French, the British, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the U.S. Marines. We've also had military engagements against the Germans. Now, let's talk about that, man. I know you're wondering how that happened. Take a look up on the screen. As you can see, the SMS Panther, a German ship sent to capture the Crête-à-Pierrot. And as you already know, the Battle of Crête-à-Pierrot, that was that legendary battle that Dessalines fought in against the French back in 1802. Smacked them up, man. But anyways, let's get into it. Today's video is going to be a follow-up to the video I dropped the other day entitled, take a look up on the screen, The American Invasion of Haiti, The Untold Story. Go check that out after this one. And the one I dropped yesterday, The Untold Story of Antoine Furman, the Warrior and the Scholar. Check that out as well. These three videos are all connected. And if you already watched both of those videos, then I don't got to jump into Antoine Furman's life story. You already know, salute to the ancestor, salute to the big dog, big general, big chief, big gangster. But for those of y'all who don't know, Antoine Furman was the Minister of Finance, Commerce, and Foreign Affairs. He was also famous for his role in the 1891 diplomatic incident between Haiti and the United States when the United States wanted to establish a naval base on the island, and he told the United States government, you ain't setting up shit nowhere, nigga. Go back to Alabama. And they busted a U-turn and took their ass back to Alabama. Shout out to Antoine Furman. Now, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about the 1902 Civil War, a military engagement that was fought. On one side, you had the segment of the population that was loyal to Antoine Furman. On the other side, you had the segment of the population that was loyal to General Pierre Alexis. Now, this is tough for me, bro, because these are two ancestors, man. They get a lot of love. They get a lot of love, bro. They get a lot of love. And they were both nationalists. It was simply a disagreement amongst men who were originally good friends. This was not a case of one person is a sellout, one person is a hero, one person. No, both of these men were giants in their day. Both of these men were, even still, they're both venerated and respected on a high level. So to me personally, I'm not taking no sides, bro. I'm not taking no sides, because if General Pierre Alexis came back to life, I'm giving him a big hug. I'm giving him a big hug. I'm giving him a big dap. You know what I'm saying? If Antoine Furman comes back to life, I'm giving him a big hug. I'm dapping him up. Bro, I'm telling you, I got big love for these ancestors. Giants. Now, let's get into it, man. I already told you, I went deep into the life story of Antoine Furman yesterday, so I'm not going to jump into it today. We're going to jump into the life story of General Pierre Alexis, and then we're going to talk about the Civil War. Let's go. Now, as you can see, take a look up on the screen. President General Pierre Alexis, 17th president of Haiti, in his military uniform, doing his thing, doing the goddamn thing, as he always did. Now, we got to jump into the bloodline. As you can see, he was the son of a high-ranking official in the regime of King Henry Christophe and Blaise Georges. Now, who was Blaise Georges? Take a look up on the screen. Born in 1797, died in 1866, she was the daughter of King Henry Christophe, but she was not the daughter of the Queen of Haiti. Nobody knows who her mother was. Like I told y'all in previous videos, Dessalines and Christophe, the ladies loved him, man. The ladies loved him. Listen, it is what it is, bro. You know how the bosses do it, man. But anyways, General Pierre Alexis was the grandson of King Henry Christophe, and Blaise Georges was his mother through one of Christophe's many girlfriends. And as you can see, take a look up on the screen, General Pierre Alexis was born on the 2nd of August, 1820 in the city of Cap Henry, Haiti, which is now Cap Haitian. But it was Cap Henry during the regime of King Henry Christophe. So he was born in the Kingdom of Haiti when it was still in power, which means he was born when Christophe was on the throne. But also keep in mind, he was born in 1820. The Civil War happened in 1902. So he was an old man fighting on the front lines, bro. Old man, elderly chief, a big gangster, damn near 100 years old, still fighting. Goddamn. But anyways, take a look up on the screen. Let's look at the career of General Pierre Alexis. As I already told you, he was the son of Nor Alexis, a high-ranking official in the regime of Henry Christophe, and Blaise Georges, Christophe's illegitimate daughter. Alexis joined the army in the 1830s, serving under President Jean-Louis Pierrot, his father-in-law, as an aide-de-camp. And let me stop right there. As I told y'all, for those of y'all who watched my last two videos, yes, General Pierre Alexis, he was a north side boy. He came from that north. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, them boys from the north, they built different, man. Just mentally, spiritually, them boys, man, listen, shout out to the brothers up north, man. Let's continue. Now, from the time he joined the army as a teenager, General Pierre Alexis, he rose up the ranks during his long career and occupied various positions of government. And also, due to the fact that he was the grandson of Christophe, he had big respect up north, big money up north, big property up north. You know, he was part of that black elite class up north. Unfortunately, our black elite class today no longer exists. Now we got a white Jewish elite class and an Arab elite class and all this bullshit. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Back in the days before the U.S. occupation, before the U.S. invaded, we had a black elite, a real black elite. It's gone now, though. It's been dispersed and it's relocated to New York and Boston and Florida and Canada and Paris and all this shit. But back in the day, before the U.S. invaded, and installed the new current elite class we see today, black men was running that shit. Now, let's get back into it. As you can see, he was the member of the provisional government, the minister of the war in the Navy, the minister of the interior, and a high-ranking general in the army during his whole career. Alexis was married to Princess Marie-Louise Amélie Célestina Pierrot, daughter of President Jean-Louis Pierrot, a general and later prince under the regime of King Henry Christophe. Like I told you, legendary bloodline right here. Pierre Alexis, big bloodline, big bloodline. Now, from this marriage, he had a son who bore his name of Henri Alexis. His great-great-grandson, Jacques-Edouard Alexis, was Prime Minister of Haiti twice, from 1999 to 2001, from 2006 to 2028. In the ensuing years, he had a tumultuous career. He was exiled in 1874, but was allowed to return to Haiti a few years later by President Pierre Boiscanal. During the presidency of Solomon, he was a vocal leader of the opposition, enduring several jail sentences before Solomon was finally ousted in a revolt. The new president, Florville Hippolyte, gave him an important military position in the north, but when President Simon Sam resigned, he joined Antonin Firmin in a march on Port-au-Prince in an effort to seize control of the government. The new president, however, was his old ally, Boiscanal, who had returned from exile some 20 years earlier. Canal diffused the tension by appointing Alexis as Minister of War, driving a wedge between him and Firmin. Troops loyal to Firmin were finally defeated in Port-au-Prince, leaving only two strongholds, Saint-Marc and Gonaïves, opposed to the new government of Canal and Alexis. Now time out. General Alexis and Antonin Firmin were homies. And in fact, years back, they tried to overthrow the damn government together. But due to the fact that President Boiscanal gave Alexis a high-ranking position in the government, that drove a wedge between him and his old friend Antonin Firmin. Now, let's get back into it. Alexis took advantage of the situation by negotiating with the United States and declaring himself in support of American interests in the Caribbean. The U.S. responded by imposing a naval blockade on the two centers still loyal to Firmin, paving the way for Alexis to seize control of the government for himself. Now, time out. This is the one blemish on the historical legacy of General Alexis. Whenever he would be having these military engagements, he would never hesitate to call upon the Americans or the Europeans to come in and crush his enemy on his behalf. And that's the same way the Germans would later get involved in the conflict later down the line. But let's continue. On the 28th of June, 1902, there was a street battle in Cap-Haïtien between the Firmin and Alexis partisans. During the Firminist revolt in 1902, he gave Eugène François Magloire the defense of Fort Bel-Air in Cap-Haïtien. He made him a spy during the Civil War. Now, take a look up on the screen. Let's talk about Admiral Hamilton Killick. Born on April 18th, 1856, died on the 6th of September, 1902. Was an admiral in the Haitian Navy. He was killed in the 1902 Firmin Rebellion when he refused to surrender his ship to the German warship, the SMS Panther. A naval base in Port-au-Prince is named after him. Now, as you can see, yes indeed, Admiral Hamilton Killick was a white boy. He was a white boy, yes indeed, but he was a real one because he fought alongside Haitians, he fought alongside black men, and he died in battle. He preferred to blow himself up and go down with the ship instead of surrender to the Europeans. So he was a born and raised Haitian. He was a Haitian boy, you know what I'm saying? Born and raised in Haiti, died in Haiti. And he fought against the Europeans alongside the black man, and he decided to die instead of surrender to the Europeans. So that's a real one. One of the few real ones. You know what I mean? They talk about John Brown, but they don't talk about Admiral Hamilton Killick. But on my channel, you already know I'm always going to tell you the untold stories. Now let's get back into it. As the admiral of this poorly equipped and underfunded force, a significant amount of Killick's resources went to trying to acquire more ships. In January 1894, an American yacht called the Natalie sailed out of Savannah, went missing, and was presumed lost. There were rumors that the Natalie was carrying arms and ammunition to be used in a plot to overthrow Hippolyte. But the captain denied that there were any weapons on board and claimed the trip was just a pleasure cruise. The Natalie was spotted near Long Cay, Bahamas in February. A short time later, two Haitian vessels, the Defense and the Dessalines, with Killick on board, showed up near the Natalie. The Defense was carrying $25,000 in American gold to purchase the Natalie, and the Dessalines was carrying $60,000 in gold coin for the purchase of the Natalie. Killick and the Natalie's captain negotiated the price of the Natalie for about $25,000. The Natalie was retrofitted in Savannah and added to the Haitian Navy. In 1896, Haiti was able to add a brand new ship to its fleet, the Crête-à-Perrault. The Crête-à-Perrault was commissioned to be the flagship of the Navy. It was built in England and armed in France. It had 11 guns, could steam 15 knots, and displaced 940 tons of water. In 1899, the captain commented about how often the admiral came aboard. In July 1898, Admiral Killick caused some anxiety in the international community when he went missing for 19 days. Admiral Killick declared his support for Firmin very early on, and his support meant that although Alexis had the support of the military, Firmin had the support of the Navy and full control of the coast. As of the 15th of May, Killick had not only declared for Firmin, but taken the flagship of the Haitian Navy, the Crête-à-Perrault, to Cap-Haïtien to pick up Firmin's troops and transport them to Port-au-Prince. Meanwhile, the rest of the Haitian Navy, comprising a single ship, the Toussaint Louverture, was in Gonaïves, where Firmin had many supporters. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty about the 1902 Civil War. Take a look up on the screen. In the summer of 1902, Haiti erupted in civil war. On May 12th, under pressure for his grievous handling of the looters' affair, President Simo Sam had resigned his office, creating a political vacuum. Now, the looters' affair, a disgraceful moment in Haitian history, a very embarrassing moment in Haitian history, so embarrassing that the president had to resign from office, or we probably would have killed that motherfucker. Now, let's continue. Pierre Brown Canal was appointed provisional president until a new head of state could be chosen. However, frustrated by the constitutional provision granting the power of executive appointment to the National Assembly, citizens revolted in Port-au-Prince. In reaction, the National Assembly disbanded. In its wake, democratic committees assembled throughout the republic, selecting local delegates who gathered in Port-au-Prince to debate the terms of Haiti's impending presidential election. After much deliberation, the representatives promulgated a new constitution with a notable expansion in democratic rights. Achieving their goal of more direct participation in the election process, enfranchised citizens would henceforth nominate local electors to vote for their candidate of choice. Animated by the sudden expansion of their democratic rights, citizens in every department registered in droves. Antonin Furman quickly emerged as a conspicuous frontrunner. Now, let me set the stage. Both of these dudes, Antonin Furman, General Alexis, both of them North Side boys from that North Side, but they come from different walks of life. Antonin Furman, working class family, man of the people, a lawyer, everybody loved him, everybody knew him, a genius, going to the Anthropology Society in France, telling the white boys, nigga, you stupid as fuck, nigga, you was in the caves, nigga, we was the Egyptian kings, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Just everybody loved Antonin Furman, bro. Everybody loved him. General Alexis, big rich, you know what I'm saying? Big rich chief, big rich gangster, son of Christophe, big landowner, big property owner, you know what I mean? Just big dog up north, Haitian royalty. But the majority of the population, they didn't come from that. The majority of the population is farmers, artisans, everyday working class people feeding their family. So everybody was really more aligned with Antonin Furman's message, Antonin Furman's image. Yes, everybody respected General Alexis. Everybody respected his bloodline. Everybody know you the grandson of Christophe. Everybody know you a throwback from the Kingdom of Haiti. Everybody know that. But the man of the people, the underdog, is always going to win in the eyes of the majority if you put him up against, the big rich baron. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Let's continue. Antonin Furman quickly emerged as the conspicuous frontrunner. Although an important voice for political reform in the late 19th century, a disenchanted Furman had returned to his native Cap Haitien by 1900 to practice law. Uneasy with his ongoing influence, the Sam government appointed Furman minister to Paris in 1900, seeking to rid the country of a potential political threat. The machination, however, backfired. Furman's absence only galvanized his followers, who welcomed him as a hero when he returned in late May with his sights set on the presidency. Furman commanded a particularly passionate following among young voters attracted by his promises to end government corruption. These same promises also catalyzed Furman's opposition, who were determined to maintain their access to power. Furman campaigned to be elected deputy of both his hometown Cap Haitien and Gonaïves. He was elected deputy for Gonaïves, but on the 28th of June, fighting broke out in Cap Haitien between his supporters and troops controlled by Alexis, who had been sent there to supervise the elections. After the fighting broke out, Furman embarked on a Quetapéo and sailed to Gonaïves. There he continued to protest against the way elections were being conducted. Killick, meanwhile, proceeded to bombard Cap Haitien with both ships. When he left Cap Haitien, he accidentally ran into the Toussaint Louverture aground on a reef. But through the rest of the summer, Killick and the Quetapéo transported soldiers for the Furmanist cause, attacked coastal towns, and isolated and slowly demobilized Alexis' forces. Meanwhile, Jean Jumeau marched on Port-au-Prince by land. Although the disrupted and disputed elections were still ongoing in July, by July 26, Furman had been declared president by the inhabitants of Artibonite and several other regions in Haiti. Jumeau's land forces were reported to be within 1 day's march of Port-au-Prince, and the Quetapéo was in the harbor at Port-au-Prince. Eventually, Killick attempted to establish a blockade of the harbor at Cap Haitien. On the 2nd of September, 1902, Killick and his crew seized the German ammunition ship, the Marcomania, en route to Cap Haitien to provide ammunition to Alexis' forces. Alexis asked Germany for help subduing a pirate ship. In response, Germany sent a gunboat, the SMS Panther, to find and capture the Quetapéo. On September 6, the Quetapéo was in port at Gonaïves with Killick and most of his crew on shore leave when the Panther appeared. Killick rushed on board and ordered his crew to abandon ship. When all but 4 members had evacuated the ship, Killick, inspired by the tale of Captain Laporte, wrapped himself in a Haitian flag, fired the aft magazine, and blew up the ship, along with the arms that were supplied by the German merchants, rather than let the Germans take her. Killick and the remaining 4 crew members went down with the ship. An hour later, the Panther fired 30 shots at the Quetapéo to finish it off, then sailed away. The ship's rifles and machine guns were salvaged. Killick's body was recovered and buried the same day. And that was the end of the 1902 Civil War. And as you already know, President General Pierre Alexis was elected 17th president of Haiti. Now, one thing I do not like is how President Alexis called upon the Germans to get Furman out of the way. I don't like that, bro. You don't call upon the Europeans to get your brothers out of the way. Now, some might say, well, Toussaint Louverture, Dessalines, Christophe, there were times when they called upon the Americans during the War of Knives. There were times when Christophe, had called upon the British during certain situations. Yeah, there were certain times where Christophe and the British actually combined together to drive the French out of the Spanish part of the island. I understand that. There were times when our great forefathers did, use the Europeans to their own benefit. But Antoine Furman, that was our brother, bro. That was the son of the soil. He wasn't a sellout. He wasn't a criminal. It's not the same thing when Toussaint Louverture called upon the Americans to get Andre Rigaud out of the way, because Andre Rigaud was working with the French. Andre Rigaud was loyal to the French, so it made sense for Toussaint Louverture to get Andre Rigaud out the way with the assistance of the Americans. But Antoine Furman was working for the people. He was the man of the people. You don't drive a man like that out of the country. That's one of our greatest citizens of all time. But anyways, man, I don't got any problem with General Noir Alexis. I'm not saying he was a sellout. No, not at all. Not at all. Because under his regime, there was a big emphasis on our culture and our ancestry as a people. He brought that back. Under his regime, there was a renaissance of our history, of our culture, venerating our ancestors, our forefathers. During that time, the citizens were very nationalistic. That's why when the Americans invaded in 1915, just 15 years later, damn near 25% of the population rose up in rebellion because they were raised under the regime of Pierre Noël Alexis. That emphasis on culture, nationalism, defending the homeland, that was big during that time. And Pierre Noël Alexis placed a heavy emphasis on that during his presidency. So I'm not saying he was a sellout. I love him. Just like I love Antoine Furman. Listen, black men, that's what happens, man. Black men gonna disagree. Black men gonna disagree sometimes. That's all it is, bro. Disagreements between black men, that's all. But I also want to talk about the intersection of culture and race. Because even though Hamilton Killick was a white boy, he was raised under the Haitian culture. So in his mind, even as a white boy myself, I ain't gonna submit to no fucking white boy, nigga. I'm gonna fucking go down with the shit, blow this whole shit up before I fucking surrender to you, bitch. So even though he was a white boy, he was raised culturally as a Haitian man amongst Haitian men. So, that right there is an interesting concept about the intersection of culture and race and how they connect sometimes and how they clash. But yeah, man. Anyways, it's your boy Never Card Dessalines back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. And I'm going. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. There for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This is an art and they can never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.